What are some of the conventions of short film?
They're usually quite simple. They have quite a simple plot, so they're quite easy to understand. They have a lot of non-diegetic sound, and also you don't usually find there's much dialogue in them. People usually use a soundtrack rather than a speech.
They have a low budget. They consist of not many actors, and there's a twist at the end.
Stereotypes based on morals and cliffhangers.
Yeah.
What kind of music you're gonna have in it. So it depends what genre your film is. So if you have horror, you're gonna have horror film, horror music, horror kind of feel to it. So music, kind of camera shots you're gonna have in it. So you're gonna have close-ups, what kind of lighting you're gonna have and everything like that. So how it's gonna look in the final edit.
Throughout our short film, we use conventions in lots of various different ways. For example, we use the conventional narrative. This is due to the fact that we had a really simple plot of just a girl going on a first date, but however there was a twist involved as she's not going on her first date with a guy, she actually ends up going out with a girl, but her mother is unaware of this. We also use conventional sound throughout, as we use the same tune throughout our short film, however similar to short films such as Awake. It's kind of, we use the tune and then you just manipulate it to suit that mood throughout the film. We also use close-ups throughout our short film to show emotion and detail straight away, so that you could just straight away get into the feel of the character and what's happening and into different representations, instead of having to wait, as within a short film you don't have the time to slowly reveal parts of the character. You have to straight away, through props and various things, show who they are.
Our narrative cast. Our short film is based around 2 main characters, and usually short films are based around 1 or 2 characters, no more, just to make it simpler for the audience to understand. For example, in The Black Hole, it's based around 1 character, just so the storyline doesn't get confused. Budget. Mainly short films are produced by students, and therefore the budget would be literally nothing, and in our film that was the same for us. We didn't have any budget, and we just went off characters that said that they would act for free for us, and locations that didn't cost anything.
Use forms from short films for our project, including concept, e.g. an everyday situation, which makes the short film realistic and means that the audience can relate to it. It provides a problem that the main character has to solve. In our short film, it's a girl going on a date with another girl, and so she has to get around her mother. Character. Our target audience must be able to relate to them. Charlotte is a teenager, so is our audience. Characters must have been on some sort of journey, whether it's emotional or physical. Charlotte's been on an emotional journey, contacting Olivia and speaking to her and texting her, and she's also been on a physical journey, actually going to meet her.
Ideas and recurring themes. Most short films use basic technology such as camera and a tripod, which we did. We didn't use any more advanced technology, as we were on a budget and we were doing a student film. They also use dialogue or narrative in short films to give the audience more information easily and quickly, because obviously the film's only short and ours was a maximum of 5 minutes, so we needed to get the storyline and the narrative across to the audience as quickly as we could. Usually in short films they conform to Todorow's theory of equilibrium, which is where the first point is everything is normal, then a problem occurs during the short film, and then the problem is resolved at the end. In ours, everything is normal at the beginning because Charlotte's mum thinks she's going on a date with another guy, and then the problem occurs because she is in fact going on a date with another girl, and then the problem is resolved because Charlotte goes against her mum and actually meets Olivia and doesn't actually care what her mum thinks.
I think that all of these products work really well together. This is due to the fact that they all appear well constructed and professional. For example, the magazine reviews content is easy to read and enjoyable. The film poster is striking. The film is a really simple but relatable storyline, and all in all I think they're very gripping products. They hold your attention in similar ways to a real media product.
I think the combination of Stacey's ancillary tasks in her film are very effective, because she's used the same colour theme throughout. So she's used the blue tone that we used in our colour correction of our film editing over on her film magazine review and her film poster. This makes all of her tasks linked together and to make them more of a professional result because of this. The text that she's included in her posters and her magazine review entice the audience to watch the rest of the film because it gives away the plot of the film, but not all of it, so it makes you want to read on and watch the film. The poster and the magazine review all have typical conventions of professional media text as well.
I really enjoyed the short film Assumptions, as I thought the different camera angles throughout the film really gave you a personal perspective of Charlotte's life. I also think that both the magazine review and the poster link really work well with the short film, as they all have a similar style with the blue running throughout, which makes the theme of the film memorable. I also think that the parts of the plot and the genre are displayed in a really visual way within the poster and magazine review, which entices the reader to watch the film to find out more.
I think that the combination of my ancillary tasks and my short film are really effective. This is due to the fact that they all have a similar blue tint running through them. I did this by colour correcting the film, and also when editing photos for the magazine review or the poster, I used Photoshop to change the colours on each of them to make them slightly more blue toned. I also think they all really relate in the sense that they're all very professional and the same standard, like none of them are slightly more professional or less professional than another. Throughout my magazine review, I decided to put a turned up page corner to make it look like a book being turned, and then also on my poster I decided to have at the top written by Jamie Vandrell instead of a tagline. This is due to the fact that I wanted the audience to notice that it was based on a book, because our target audience is people who like to read, so I thought it would entice them specifically more.
I think Georgia's ancillary tasks are really effective because they both look professional, and I think the colour themes of both relate really well, so you can automatically tell they're linked together. Also, they follow all the conventions of typical film posters and reviews. I would definitely go and see this short film.
I think Georgia's ancillary tasks are also very effective. They both follow conventions of typical film posters and promote the film very professionally. As well as this, the content of the poster and film review make me, as the audience, want to watch the film.
I think that the combination of Georgia's ancillary tasks and her film are all really effective. This is due to the fact that the pictures throughout the film magazine review and also the poster are really similar, so that it shows that they are taken at a similar time or that they relate to each other, and also these are similar shots to the ones that are actually featuring in the film. The colour correction that she has chosen to do with the blue tint really relates and creates a theme for the whole of her task. I also think that each title on each product is very similar, like most of them are in capitals, which makes it relate. I also think it adds more to the theme, and it shows that they're from a similar group.
I think the combination of my ancillary tasks and my film are very effective because I feel like they all link very well. Within our film we used colour correction and used a blue overtone over the top of our footage to fit to the mystery genre, and I also included this within my film and my film poster and my film magazine review. As well as this, I used the same pictures within my poster as my main photo and my magazine review, so the audience also knew that they related as well. I think that my magazine review and poster have a lot of typical conventions for professional posters and magazines.
The picture should be aligned differently, with a significant difference in the size between the biggest and the smaller one. The top of the smaller one should be at the same height as the top of the bigger one, the biggest one. And the small square with the information in it should be aligned with the smaller picture, because the figures box, this figures box is not integrated in the whole of the composition of the pages. The sizes of the two big pictures are important to avoid too much symmetry, which can produce a sense of blandness, and to create visibly pleasing variation in proportions. The color blue is meaningful in its matte form, because this creates a sense of seriousness and weight which matches the content of the film. Gloss, on the contrary, would produce a Hollywood sort of fake glam effect.
The layout of the text is in line with the way Empire magazine lay out their articles. It starts with the release date, certificate, and run time, going on to talk about the director and what the short film is about. The text size is also conventional, as it's size 9 or 10, and it is what you would expect to find. The quotes also add a bit of pizzazz to the review, as they are a slimy green color, which does not quite match the color scheme, but it makes them stand out so they are not easily missed.
In the picture to the right of the film review, the mother's facial expression can be seen as slightly worried, which is perfectly normal for any mother whose daughter is going on a first date. From the caption, we also see that there is a bit of excitement mixed in as well. The quotes are very well linked to what the film does, in that it makes the audience feel narrow-minded and not open to newer ideas. On the left image, Charlotte is seen as taking a big breath. She sees her problem, as her mother previously portrays how she is convinced Charlotte is going to see someone of the opposite sex, and how difficult it might turn out to be to tell her mother something that she might not accept. In this image, we can still see her mother's car in the background, which might represent how Charlotte has got her worries about her mother's reaction lingering in the back of her mind.
The color in this are well chosen. Different hues of blue are a very typical convention of mystery and drama genres. Charlotte appears to be hiding a secret. Half of her face is not visible, suggesting that she are not getting the full picture, whereas Olivia's face is in full view. The color has also been dimmed around the edges, with the light centering the middle of both of their faces, inviting you to come and see the hidden message.
The first obvious link back to the film is that the two main characters, Olivia and Charlotte, are on the poster. Charlotte is not looking out of the poster, so we as an audience might think that she is hiding something, and Olivia is forward and outgoing, looking out of the poster at the audience, which is also what she does in the film by looking directly at the camera. The two characters that are seen together on the poster are only seen together at the very end of the film, which pushes the audience to think about what dramatic change to the expected story ending has occurred. The font used on the poster is the same as the font that has been used in the rolling credits at the end of the film, giving a sense of continuity and bridging the poster and the short film. The focus of the poster is on Olivia's face, as she is the plot twist in the film. In the poster, it appears as though she is about to say something, whereas Charlotte's mouth remains closed. This shows how Charlotte does not want to tell her mother about her relationship. She continuously lets her mother refer to her partner as he, him, or his.
There are various ways in which we have received feedback throughout the planning and production of our short film Assumptions. For example, when we first came up with the idea of a young girl going on a date with another girl without her mother knowing to be the main storyline for our short film, we had to receive feedback in many ways so that we could see if the idea was 1, engaging, 2, even possible to create with our budget and equipment, and also if it would be practical enough for a short film, if it fit the conventions well. We did this by doing things such as creating a prezi for our pitch, and we got feedback from the class of our initial ideas, and then we carried this on then to create a beat outline, a step outline, and a treatment just to progress our storyline, to see how people took to the full storyline, to see if people found it engaging or interesting. When receiving this feedback, we found out that the general idea was that they really liked the fact that we chose a simple narrative. They really think that it suited a short film, like conventions and genre, just like how a short film naturally is. It was really similar. They also really liked the fact that we chose a controversial issue to show instead of just an everyday situation. The only negative comments were that they didn't like the name of the short film, as we were going to call it Ollie, so that there was confusion between whether it was a boy or a girl. But we decided after improvements to change that name to Assumptions, assumptions, which people actually really preferred. And then they also said that they think that there needed to be a conflict involved in our short film, so like an event throughout. And so we decided for the young girl to get nerves halfway through because she's like scared of telling her mum, and so she doesn't know whether it's the right decision for her to go or not, but then she overcomes that and goes anyway, so that's our conflict. And after we received feedback from all of this, after adding our improvements, it was really positive and we thought we should go ahead with production.
Re-export it.
Was that 3GP?
File. Yeah.
What I liked about that part when you were saying mum making assumptions, she just went along with it. She didn't know what her mum would react to her saying, "Oh, I'm going to go and meet the girl."
She went out of the room and got annoyed. At that point, she got annoyed with something. A bit too fleeting for me.
Yeah.
If you lingered on that a bit longer, if you could, because there was suddenly change of mood there, wasn't there?
Just no one said it, but I thought your end titles were really good.
Really good, very professional.
I don't know if it was an accident, but I thought that the whole guitar thing really came through. Music, and there was a guitar in her room, and then she talks about the boy being able to play the guitar. That whole kind of story element really sort of came through really beautifully, I thought.
Yeah. I'm really glad at the end you just had her say hello. I don't want to see any more than that. That was the whole point of the short film, was that reveal, and you left it there.
There were many improvements that we were asked to make on our short film after our screening. For example, one of the first improvements that we were told to make was to change the scene where Charlotte picks up her keys to make it slightly longer. This is because of the fact that it made it seem too fleeting and almost appear as if she was angry, so it changed the mood completely. To do this, we just added on some more of the clip just to bulk it out and to make it look more natural and flowing. We think that the end result of this is so much better, as it just looks like a natural scene instead of suddenly a mood change. The second improvement that we decided to make was on the scene of them going from inside the house to outside the house, and instead of having every moment on camera, we decided to do a jump cut. This makes the film more enjoyable to an audience. This is due to the fact that you don't see every moment, you just see the key moments. The feedback that we've received for our production has been really positive, with just a few minor things that we just had to touch up every now and again. There are a variety of media technologies that we use in the construction of our media product. For example, when filming, we use the Canon 700D. A good point about the Canon 700D is that it is very high quality resolution. This means that when going back to it and editing it, we could see that all the frames were clear and everything was very crisp, so that we could edit easily. Also, there's a manual focus, so that we could manipulate what sort of focus you wanted, if you wanted it artistic or just based and focus on one of the actors. Also, the camera was really easy to navigate. But however, there are a few bad qualities about this camera. For example, battery life was really poor in the camera, and the charger didn't even help. We'd go back multiple times to charge up the camera. However, it didn't make any effect. We still had to keep going back every couple of minutes. Another digital technology that we used throughout the construction of our media product was the sound boom and the Marantz. We used this to be able to record all of the non-diegetic sound and diegetic sound throughout our film. It was good because of the fact that it was easy to use and it had a high quality sound resolution, so when it came to manipulating any of the sound, it was easy, and we didn't have any problems when getting the sound, just to sound natural, into the voices of the people, because it was all really easy and there was no jumps. Some bad things about this was that there was a lot of attachments to carry around, so it made it really hard if we had to keep on travelling around areas, because we had to take a lot of stuff with us. We also used the Nikon D90. We used this throughout our project to be able to take pictures of steps along the way, and also take pictures for anything we wanted to do, like film posters. Good things about the Nikon D90 was that you could use it manually, or you could just put it in an auto mode, or any mode that was specifically tailored to the type of photograph you were going to take. So if the person wasn't used to using a camera manually, you could just set it to a mode that looked as if it would suit your final image. Some bad points about this is that the shutter speed is not always accurate and can play up at time to time, so obviously it doesn't. We also use media technologies in the construction when we were editing. For example, we used Premiere Pro. Good things about Premiere Pro is that there's a lot of variation in what you could do with the footage, so you could colour correct, you could also add in different effects and techniques that would just slightly change your footage to make it more suitable to your theme. However, the bad point is that, as many Apple products are, it's very complicated at first, and you really have to get used to all the different Premiere products to be able to navigate it. A device that we use in the editing process of our film was an iMac. We used this because it had lots of different software on it, and there was so much variation to be able to create titles, to be able to edit our film, to be able to create sound. And they were all really high quality, and you could almost achieve a professional outcome from this. The bad things about this is that it's very complicated and advanced software. So if you're not used to any software like this, it's hard to navigate, and you really do need to start researching into different ways of manipulating things, because it won't just come easy to you. We also used media technologies in the construction of our short film sound. For example, we used Logic Pro. When using Logic Pro, we used it to record our own sound and put in, and just to manipulate it or add any effects that we wanted. And we could also use loops. The loop's really good if you have a theme that is similar to any of the loops involved. However, it's bad because there's not much variation throughout, and none of the actual loops fit our short film. Another media technology that we used to create our sound for our film was the SEX1. The SEX1 is good because it has a good resolution of sound, and also you can manipulate the sound because the quality is so good. You can just separate sections of the sound and manipulate the levels. However, the only bad thing is that you can't move it about. The final media product that we used in the construction of our short film was After Effects. After Effects is really good because there's a massive variation of things like fonts, colours, effects and transitions, so you could really smoothly get the theme that you want just through the mise-en-scène of the film from the editing. However, there's bad things like, again, similar to Premiere Pro, a lot of Apple programs that are just very complex, and you have to have formal knowledge to be able to create something drastic or that has any impact from it.
As well as using media technologies for construction throughout our short film product, we also use them for research. We did this in various ways. The first way was looking through websites. We used YouTube, which was good because we all knew how to use it, and it's very easy because we use it on a daily basis. It also has good variation of short films and from different directors with different budgets, and some of them not very well-known directors and some well-known directors for short films especially. It's also good because you can choose your search and you can be specific with the short films that you're looking for, different genres, and we can take inspiration from it. However, a bad point would be that you have to be specific with your searches anyway, because otherwise you get random, unuseful short films pop up, and that would be wasting your time. Another website we used was SlideShare. This was very easy to use as it was built for students, so we found it easy to use. It was a very good way to upload all of our files so we could put them on our blogs and share them with other people and each other. It's also good because you can get inspiration from it, because you can find other people's work, like other students, other people that are making short films, and look at how they've used the conventions of typical genres and how we can get inspiration from that. A bad point about it would be there's not much variation in style. It's just mainly one type of genre, and ours, we didn't really have one main genre, so we found it hard to find different examples. Another website we used was BBC Short Film website. This was good because it was very professional, and there was a lot of variation with short films, different budgets. Some of them were more professional than others, and others were like us, students that are just making short films for their media products. A bad point of this would be that it was limited genres, and it had a standard, so some short films cannot feature even if they are good, because they obviously had higher budgets than us. Like our short film wouldn't be shown on the website, so we were limited as to what we could see for our genre that we picked. The media technology that we used during research was the Short Film Festival in York that we went to on a trip. This helped us with our short film project because we could see real short films, like they weren't just online, we could actually see them in real life and the directors that made them and all the different budgets and genres that varied there. Another media technology that we used was Prezi. We did this because we did our pitch feedback and we presented our pitch idea and our film idea on Prezi and showed it to our media class and film class. This was good because we could get realistic opinions from the people in the class and they could tell us what they thought was good about the idea, whether we could achieve it and it was realistic. As well, we got our target audience feedback from them because most of them were at the age where our target audience was aimed at, so that was good as well. We filmed the feedback of our pitch on a Panasonic HC700. This was good because we could document the feedback that we got and we could upload it to our blogs at the end of it, showing that we did do some research into our ideas and how we could change it, and also by getting feedback it gave us time before we actually created the short film so we could change any ideas that we got feedback on.
As well as construction and research, we also use different media technologies in planning, such as Prezi, which we use for our pitch, so it made it easier for us to convey our ideas for our short film over to the class that we were pitching to. We used Blogger to document our development, and this helped us show the evidence of the work that we did. Blogger was really easy to use because it's user-friendly and it's easy to put stuff onto and upload stuff to, but it is really, really simple, so it doesn't really show too much progression. WordPress is also good because it's much more professional, but it's much more difficult to use because there's lots of other things on there. It's not easy to embed to, you can't just put pictures on it. We also use Celtx to make our storyboards. Celtx is basically everything that you need to make a film or a short film or a magazine. It looks really professional and it's accurate. It helped us from the storyboards, it helped us to write our shot list, shooting scripts, and it just helped us to be more organised. We also use Celtx for our script drafts and the final versions because it looks professional and it's fairly easy to use. It is time consuming though because everything needs to be individually labelled and you need to go through and do several versions before it makes sense. So for our evaluation, we used different media technologies such as we used the H1 for sound. It's really good because it gives you better sound quality, but it's time consuming and it can be difficult to set up in relation to the camera. We also used the Panasonic HVC700 because it gives you good quality video, so we can edit a professional looking evaluation. For other questions, we are doing a voiceover plus split screen on Premiere Pro, so that will require using an iMac and Premiere Pro to edit the footage we get and to put the voiceover in with the H1 that we use. The good points and the bad points on the iMac computers are, well, the good points are there's lots of different programs that we can use, so there's lots of variation of work style, but they can't be complicated to use if you do not use Apple products on a daily basis because they're quite advanced.